Ooh, okay. I don't know how this is gonna look because no, my camera's not looking all that great. This is just a random live stream. I just want to get some things off of my chest, but not in a toxic or bad way. This isn't a video to shame anyone. This is just, I don't know. There's a reason why I haven't been posting or doing live streams on this channel. I started to again after I came back from Florida over the summer, but I fell off of it. Uh, I did a live stream last year, I think in like May or June, where I talked about my marriage and like saying, about I gave details about my marriage. Of course, that wasn't appreciated by my husband and his mom. She let me know that she didn't like that, but I was hoping that she done, that they would see from my perspective that I was just trying to express some things because my husband was not trying to hear it. I wasn't being heard, and I needed to be heard. And we're still at this point where we feel like the other one isn't hearing each other anymore. And it's my sister said that it's just we've grown apart, we've outgrown each other, and now toxic. It's become toxic. And let me just go back. After I posted that video between us, things did not get better. Not for a while. Uh, Something went down here in the home where to me, it was a physical altercation. We both see it differently how it happened. I know his version of events and how he's told it to his family, but that's not what I experienced. And it was to the point where I called the police and we both gave little statements. And before it got that far, I was told to leave and get out. So that's why I packed my things and I went to Florida. And the only reason I went to Florida was because I do not have family in the state that we're currently in, like my own relatives. And I just didn't know of any other place to go. So I thought of my dad, who's in Florida. That's the only other parent that I have. That's the only reason why I did that, because I was told to get out of my home. I was told to leave. When I said no, it led to us getting into something that it shocked me. I didn't like it, and I didn't know how to walk back into my home after that. And I called the police in order to, I don't know, I don't have no cousins or brothers and stuff. So I just wanted somebody to kind of like give him the impression that this is not okay and this doesn't need to happen again. That's all. It was never my intention to put anyone in jail or scare someone. I know my mother-in-law was going off because she doesn't like the police being called because of what happens between the police and black men, as we've seen in the media. So that was her stance on it, and I was upset with her because I was like, what about me and how I felt? You don't know what I experienced enough to have to make that call. So I went to Florida. Um, and I ran into an old friend while I was down there, and I found love in his arms. And I did have sex with that friend. My husband later found out about it. But to me, hey, I'm a cheater just like he is then, but I stand by the fact that I would not have been in that situation if we hadn't have clashed the way that we did. I would have never ran from home, especially not that far. I just did not see any other place to go. I just didn't see any other place to go. So I that's why I went that far. And then when I got there, I realized there's nothing here for me. So I didn't even make it to Florida before I called my husband. I was like, "Can you come fly down and drive back home with us?" Because He was calling, he was shocked. He was shocked that I went as far as I did. And to me, it just seemed as though it wasn't about me, but he said that he just wanted to see his daughter every day, which is fair. It was not about taking Layla from her father. And he said he wanted us both back, and he still says that now, but I still always felt that it wasn't about me, because all of the things that he was saying to me up until that critical moment between us was that he was in love with another woman. He didn't want me anymore. Nothing's ever going to change. So I was just like, I kind of feel like this was just shocked you into like saying things that you wouldn't be saying otherwise. So I came back not trusting it. So we tried. Bottom line is, we both tried to the best of our ability to reconnect with each other. And there were periods where it was good, like it was good. But there were moments where I think I filled out two applications for apartments to move out, because I communicated to him that at times I do feel confused. Like sometimes I don't want to be married because it seems like we're so different. And because we're so different, I feel as though my husband doesn't like me as a person, when it's really just he wants something else. He wants something different. We've been together so long, and what almost 7 years, and you change in that time, and the things that you had in common and the things that brought you together, they no longer are valid, and you have to step out of that. So we did try. I mean, we both did try, and I didn't leave because he believes that I'm afraid to be alone. That's why I didn't leave. And it's not fear of being alone. It's just I know what it's like to be alone. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone. But also, I love my family. That's the main thing. I love my family. And I do love my husband. Like I said, it just seems as though we're so different, and it just seems like we're just so different now. And he's not very accepting of me anymore in certain things. I'm not saying I'm innocent. Hey. So when it all fell apart again was in November. I was writing in my journal, and I was in my journal, I'm very expressive with how I feel. And I was again feeling like I wasn't getting what I needed from my husband. So I kind of fall back on writing about my first love, because I my main thing within my marriage is that I just don't feel like my husband sees me as a very good partner. I'm not the partner that he wants to have in his life. Like I'm a partner, but his whole thing has been, I want you to grow. And I am growing in my own way, but it doesn't suit him. That's what I think it is. It just, who I am doesn't suit who he's trying to be, and he can't get to where he wants to be with me. That's what I think it is, or that's what it seems like. So so I was writing about my first love and stuff, but we were trying to be intimate with each other, and I got a phone call from the first love. I only reached out to them over the summer because my husband said he didn't want me anymore, and I needed plane tickets because I wanted to visit my dad, and he works for an airline, so I got a discount. And they were just calling to check up on me. It had been a while, and I had disappeared. But of course, my husband got up and he left out the room. I called the person back, spoke with them, and then I went down to my husband. I should have not done that, I guess, but I did, and I have to own that. And I went downstairs, and then we got into a fight, and then the next thing I know, our wedding rings are coming off. Now, he wanted to go through my journal to see what I was writing, and I told him, I really don't like you doing that because you can't handle how I write my feelings out. And that's just what it is. Half the time, I don't remember what I wrote. Like, I'll come back a month later and I'll be in a completely different headspace, heart space from what I was from whatever I wrote. I just kind of dump it out, but I'm very expressive with how I write. And I've told my husband, I'm not in love with him. I just miss how I was made to feel so very, you know, near and dear. I just feel like a burden to my husband. And in ways to him, it's true, which is why he hasn't really gone out of his way or even corrected me whenever I say it. I'll say, like, I feel like a burden to you. And he won't say, babe, you're not a burden. You could never be a burden. And he can't say that because he can't. So I didn't want him to read the journal, but he said if I loved him, I would let him read it. So I let him read it, and yeah, we were never the same after that. We haven't been the same after that. He says that it's like emotional brain or like emotional brain damage or something now at this point. Or he's like, I don't know if I can ever get over what I read. And I was just like, this is why, some people just can't take all that you are. Certain things like, to me, you don't need to know everything. But I'm not trying to lie. I've always been very honest with my husband, or I try my best to. I try. But I should have realized that things were not going to come back between us during Thanksgiving, when he we had Thanksgiving every year together, of course, as my husband and I would cook our meals. And but this year he went to visit with his family and took our daughter, and he invited me at the last minute while I was at work. And I said to him, I do want to go. It was even my idea that we should spend it with them this year. We've never had Thanksgiving with them before, but I want you to want me to be there, because you're the reason why I'm even here. You're the reason why I even know your family. And I think one of the last times that I got to hang out with the whole family and we were there, we were distant, and you could see it in the vibe. And I didn't want to feel that again. I didn't want to be there and my husband not want me there with him. And so he said, you're right. And he rescinded his invitation and they went on. And then I came home after work, and it was hours before they came home, and I was just up pacing the floor, like, when are y'all calling? Like, when are y'all coming home? You just left me. I'm crying. I'm like, I don't want to be alone on the holidays. And he uh he wasn't here for my emotions. that's how that's how it was on that. And then it seemed like there was a possibility during like the Christmas holiday and stuff like that, but he gave me a birthday present. Um and then going into January was rough. um he's engaging in a relationship with another woman again. And that's one of the main reasons why we're not connecting anymore, because he's he's very he's very connected to this woman. um so I'm gonna just catch you all up to this past week, or this weekend. I um i've been door dashing because I got fired from my job at Amazon. We had gotten to an argument the night before. And what I have been trying to explain to my husband is that I understand how you feel. He's saying that he's done, and I guess for a while I was in denial about it, and I thought there was hope. So I would come and I would just be like, what's going on with us? Are we good? And he'd be like, I'll give you an update when there is one. And then he would shut down and he said, if it's not about Layla, we don't need to speak to each other. And then I'm standing there and I'm hurting, and I'm crying to him. I mean, snot coming out my nose. I'm like, baby, please, like, and he's just sitting on the couch eating pizza, not engaged like that. Like, that's the moment I remember. He was just eating pizza, and I'm just crying. I was just like, I need you, please. He did get up at one point and he hugged me, but it was kind of it wasn't mutual. It wasn't mutual. It was not mutual. And I was just so distraught. And it was, we were fighting one night and he was saying that he wasn't going to give me any affection anymore. And it got to a point where he said, you know, what if I said we could still stay married, but I would just be like this? And I said, I would be very unhappy. And I would think that you would care about that. So, this past weekend, this past week, he told me that he was talking to another chick. I don't know how we came upon that, but I don't like that. That's, to me, that's not right. But to him now, he's taking care of himself. He's doing what he needs to do for himself. That's what he told me. So, and he's been, you know, leaving, going out of town, staying overnight, like being gone all weekend. And when we were discussing who was going to watch Layla or what our plans were for the weekend, it sounded like he had other plans. So I asked him, I said, are you going to meet up with another woman this weekend? And he told me yes. And it's this woman that he knew back in high school. They reconnected, and it's gone from Facebook to phone calls and text messages constantly, to where when I come in the house, he'll put the phone down. And he says that that's out of respect, that he won't talk to her in front of me. And I said, that's not respecting me. That's the fact that this is happening at all with, you know, and again, it hasn't even been a year since the other woman, you know. And I'm just like, that's not respectful. The fact that you're putting the phone down when I come in shows that you know it's wrong, that you have to do that. But he's to the point where, like he said, he's doing for himself. He's emotionally disconnected, and I still care, which is, it's not a problem, but I still care. So, and I was just telling him that I did not want him to do. I said, don't open this door with this other woman when we're not completely done. Like, I'm still here in this house. Like, I was just saying, don't do this. And and then he said, or what? You know, like, or what if I do? And I don't have, like, what am I supposed to say to that? I was just like, or what? I'm not threatening nothing or anything. Now you have to understand, I have been acting out, not violently or anything, but I have been acting out because I've been feeling very anxious for months now, especially the last couple weeks, and even today, just feeling so anxious because this is happening, you know, and then I don't know what's gonna happen next, kind of thing. So there was one night where he was gone all weekend again, and he had Layla with him, and I was calling and asking, like, when are y'all coming home? When y'all coming home? And I was just like, I can't, you know, I was just feeling so. I'm sitting here by myself, like pacing the house, and like, how, you know, like, you know, I'm here. Like, how are you just leaving me here? That's how I see it. To him, he's like, I'm not leaving you anywhere. I don't have you anywhere. You could go wherever you want, because that's what I'm doing. So I had the, you know, it was an emotional thing, but I was just like, I should have stayed in Florida. I shouldn't have come back. I knew it. It wasn't about me. I should have. So I packed up my stuff, put it in the car. And when he came back, you know, I took Layla, and I took her and I put her in the car, and I drove off, and I didn't say anything. And that was wrong because he's her father. And if I were to come downstairs and see that that my daughter was gone, I'd be like, the fuck, you know. But we went to a hotel. I did talk to him though, and I did call and I explained why I was acting the way I was. And I was telling him it's just because I feel so bad at home and what's going on between us. And I just want to run away from it. It's not about trying to take Layla from you. It's just I feel so bad about what's happening at home and I'm not getting any relief. I guess I'm not getting any relief. And I do need to find an outlet for it, maybe focus a bit more on my writing or something else. Or, I've been reaching out to friends lately, trying to hang out, calling people for encouragement, just to get it out, to get out what I'm feeling. But I came home and of course I apologized to him. But at that point, he further disconnected from me in other ways because he was upset and it's cause and effect. So, I was here in the house and he comes upstairs and he says, "You think I don't understand how you feel?" And I understand that we've hurt comes with relationships. But if you understand how I feel, why would you cause me that same anguish? Why would you not want to stop my suffering? And I keep telling myself it's because it's he doesn't care anymore. Not at this time. He's so blocked off. Maybe when there's space between us, maybe we can both gain clarity about things. I feel like I'm very clear, but my issue with him is that there's no accountability or responsibility for why we are where we are. It's always Sabrina being the problem, Sabrina not changing, Sabrina not growing. And I didn't get here by myself. I didn't get here by myself. So on Saturday, for a second time, I watched my husband get dressed and get smell good, and clean his sneakers, packed an overnight bag. He even took his game system, had like pajamas and toothbrush and everything. And I was standing in the kitchen and I said, don't go, because he was like, what do you want me to do? And I said, I want you to stay with me and spend time with me or go out with me. And he brought up all the times he was like, oh, I tried doing that before, I tried, I already tried, and I'm not trying to bridge that gap. And you know, I kind of was just standing there stuck, just looking. And he was like, how long are you gonna stand there looking at me? And I said, I don't know. I just don't know how to move from this moment. Like I was just kind of stuck. And I didn't stay there for long. I was doing Layla's hair and he was brushing his teeth and he looks at me and he says, are you gonna give up on me? And I feel like this was a weak response in his eyes. And maybe it was a weak response in anybody's eyes, but I was just like, no, I don't want to give up. I love my husband. I mean, if we get divorced, I'm not going to be the stalker type or something like that. But, you know, I don't, I'm not giving, I'm not giving up. And I thought he'd say something more, but he just clicked his music back on, went back to brushing his teeth. I called a friend and I said, can I come over? Cause I didn't want to watch him leave again. But as I was getting dressed, he left and he took Layla with him because, he dropped her off at her grandmother's. And I hung out with the friend and then I drove and I got my daughter, and he wasn't at his mom's, of course, because he was overnight with his new woman. And I don't appreciate that at all. I really don't. No matter what, I ain't never in right in his face. Like, I guess it don't matter what I ain't never done, because it all hurts the same regardless if that's something you did versus something he wouldn't do. I just think it's incredibly disrespectful. So I was just trying to find I was just trying to find peace all weekend because, like I said, this whole thing has just been making me feel sick. I've just been feeling so sick because, he's let me know to my face that he does not want me. um I said I'm not talking to any other guys, and he said, please be my guest, please go ahead. And that kind of crushed me too. I was just like, what? So, hmm, over the weekend, like I said, I reached out to friends. I went to church for the first time in a long time, and another friend called and took me out during the day. But then it was time to go home, and I dread coming here because then I'm sitting here wondering about him, and I'm really trying to take my focus off of him because I'm not his focus. His life and this new woman and whatever he's trying to do for himself, that's his focus. He's trying to get away from this. He's trying to get away from me. He's trying to This is over for him, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that he's a bad person. That we're not. We have different wants, and if he wants something different, he has the right to decide that. I just wish I just I don't have to like it, and I don't. I don't like how he's going about doing it. So I when he got home, it was just, to him, we're good. We're good. We're good. And to me, I'm like, we're not good. Like, I'm not good with this. So he comes in and it's all good. He's just like, "Hi." And I'm like, "Hello." Like, you did, like it's nothing that he just left again. And and to me, we have this car. It's a really nice car. And I've always been happy about it because I helped my husband to get that, and it was something that he thought that he wouldn't be able to get. And I thought that, I was like, I'm glad that I was able to help enable each other to get this car. However, I don't really think it's been seen that way. It's kind of like, his thing, and his car and stuff. So, he drives off in this car that we both pay for. And granted, he's upset with me because I didn't really pay the bills this month. I only paid the car note. Because if you're saying that you don't want me, and you want me to leave and move out, I was just saying that I need to save up money, so I wasn't really going to pay the monthly bills anymore, so I could save up money. That was my thing. It wasn't bitter. I was just saying I'm just trying to be okay because I don't know what's happening. He's claiming, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just walking around nervous. Um so I was thinking, like, I don't want you chauffeuring around another woman in this dream car, so to speak. Like, I don't want that. And since he makes it seem like, she's good financially and so is he, then go get another car with her. Go get another car with her, but you're not going to ride her around in this car together. That's just how I feel. um I don't want her in that vehicle and something that we share and that we both work for. I want to be the one in that vehicle with my husband, not another woman. So I did. I took the keys. I gave him the keys to the other car. I can't stop him from going. He'll probably go again this weekend, and I'm dreading it. I'm working to get past those emotions, but it's been happening and happening, and it's going to continue. And one day he won't come back. At least not for me. He'll probably come back for Layla, of course. But so I took the keys. It wasn't no argument or anything. I just said I'm gonna be driving that car primarily. He did start acting funny, like nice a little bit, like towards my dog. He doesn't really like Oliver, but he was holding him all of a sudden. And then he was like, "Oh, have a good day at work," like we're friends. But I didn't say anything because I keep giving him my emotions and he doesn't want it. And I feel like it's hurtful for me to keep trying to push it on him, hoping that he'll hear me, hoping that he'll understand and open up again. And it's like, girl, you just have to accept that's over. He's closed the door. He said and he sounded like Nene Leakes when she said it to Portia on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. He said the door is closed. Even though it's not a legal thing, he said he's not going to wait until I've moved out. He's not going to wait until, papers have been filed. He wants to move on with his life. So the next day comes, and, where a lot of things are being said. He even called me. He said, he was like, when I wasn't talking to him, he said, "What did I do to deserve this? I've never done anything like this to you." And then he goes, this isn't the actions of a wife. This is something a bitter baby mama would do. And I'm thinking, baby mama, what? Well, since when have you ever addressed me as baby mama? I think that's the influence of other people. I don't know who, but he's never referred to me as a baby mama. So but I didn't respond. I was just like, don't even look over there. And then he even said, I think your stepmother was right about you. My stepmother once said that I wouldn't make a good wife or a mother, and I confided in him that that hurt my feelings. So that was a low blow. But I didn't say anything. And then today, it got bad. And I think at this point, we we need to go our separate ways because it's just gotten toxic. Like we're screaming at, like shouting at each other, and it all stemmed from just, the only time we talk now is because of our daughter. And she, we're trying to potty train her. She pooped on herself, and Brandon Dick was cleaning her up, but then he comes down and is like, she needs a bath. And I was like, well, give her a bath, because I mean, he was going to take a shower anyway, and he was just up there in the bathroom. So I was like, give her a bath. And then he said no. And then I said, you're going to give our daughter a bath. And then it was just like, or what? And then, we were both wrong past that point, but nobody was hurt. It was nothing to that effect. I did throw an iron and an ironing board out the front door into the snow. I did that. I was very upset, but I threw it out the door. He recovered it, and he gave Layla a bath after much of us going back and forth saying things that were mean. I mean, I wasn't trying to be mean, but I feel like he was trying to be mean. Um, I talked to my sister, and she said, y'all just need to go your separate ways, because it's really hard to be separated in this small space. We live together, we're married, and somebody said there's no separation in marriage. So it's to the point where we're not touching each other. And if we're all in the hallway, I have to like slide by, like kind of turn my body so I don't touch him. That's how it is. And all these feelings that I have when he doesn't have those feelings, and he it's more feelings of anger towards me. I believe he's angry with me. I've always believed that he doesn't like me. Um, he in that he's very negative towards me, and a big problem is that he goes to other people who will listen to him, as especially his mother and sister, from what I've witnessed, and he will tell them all the things that he has a problem with, or all the things that I have done wrong, or how he feels that I have wronged him, and he has nothing to do with it. Like it's like, oh, I've been perfect, kind of, and there's no reflection on his part. And when you go to other people and you share with them your problems, they give you advice to try to help. But if you're not giving the complete truth, if you're not being honest about your shortcomings and what you're not doing and what you have done, because Dave Chappelle once said it. People thought Dave Chappelle was so crazy to walk away from his show. And he was like, I wasn't crazy, just my environment was. And that's honest to goodness what it is with me at this time. Because now, because I'm having such feelings of anxiety, I'm not feeling like myself. And it's because the environment that I am in is not good anymore. And maybe that's why he's being the way he is, because we're not in a good environment. And it is time that I accept that it is over. At least this phase of our relationship, at least the phase of us being man and wife, because I can't tether him to me. I'm not trying to force him to stay. I'm not in denial. When he left again that day, when he left on Saturday, and I was still like thinking of what to get him for Valentine's Day. I even bought him a gift. I bought him a gift, but I canceled it. And I thought when he asked me what my plans were for the weekend that he was going to ask me to do something with him. I didn't realize that he already had set something up with someone else. So, I just needed, I do accept it. It's just my heart hurts. That's all. My heart hurts. And I do wish that he would handle the situation with a bit more care, because to me, I don't believe that at this stage it's helpful for him to talk to another female, because now that he's given his heart over to her, there's no heart here to even try to gradually or make this make this more bearable here at home. He's not, it's always me having to see it from his perspective, step in his shoes, and I need him to walk in my shoes and be understanding of me, and stop labeling me as crazy if I act in a certain way, because I'm just responding in order to find a way to get through this. But I'm not acting crazy. I'm not throwing stuff or anything like that. It was just a lot of crying, just a lot of crying, a lot of crying, to the point where he just looked at me and said, "Stop crying. You'll get over me." And I was just like, "You're over me?" Like, ah. I know he's not the only fish in the sea, just like I'm not the only fish in the sea. I've, I wish this day, would never come. Um, I know things can change, but I'm not thinking of it in that way. I'm just thinking that I'm ready for this to be over, because I don't like feeling sick. I don't like feeling nervous. I haven't been eating very much. I don't know if you noticed, but I've lost so much weight just from stress. Um, and I just haven't been feeling good. And I want this to be over so I can just get back to a place of feeling good, so I can just keep being a good parent, and he can be a good parent. And we both need to get to a happy, because now it's like, now he's pulling out his phone recording me like I'm gonna do something, and threats are being thrown, and this isn't good anymore. It's not good anymore. And I'm just, I'll be good. I'll be good. I just needed to talk about it because, like I said, I want to work this. I still wish we could work it out, but it's beyond that. Um, I know it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I mean, it is fine. I just don't like what happened this evening. I don't want to go into details because it's fresh. I need to get away from it. But I don't like that it happened. I don't like that. I really wasn't trying to get into an argument. But earlier, when he was on the phone with his sister, he was, or somebody, one of his family members, he was saying crazy stuff to them about me, and like that because of me, I might not let Layla come back down there and visit them, or that he doesn't have any say so over Layla. Since when? When did you relinquish your privileges to your daughter? I can't take them from you. So, I didn't say anything then. I just looked over at him, and I just realized this is how he must talk about me to them on a regular basis. I mean, or to other people. And that's not fair. Don't tell my dirt if you're not going to tell your dirt. Don't do that. Don't act like you haven't torn me down with your words. You haven't shut me out. You haven't closed me off emotionally. You have flat out told me you're not going to provide me with any further, husbandly needs. You've cut me off financially. Like, you have completely iced me out of everything. And I'm not iced yet. I will get there. But sometimes you just got to understand that there are blessings in letting people go. You have to bless them by letting them go. And I surrender him. I promise this is not me just surrendering him now. I said this after church, I was just like, I just have to surrender. I have to surrender. I can't. I have to get my mind off of what's going on over there with whomever he decides to spend his life with, because I can't control that. All I can do is rein in my emotions and maintain control over myself and just conduct myself in a manner that is honorable to myself and the situation at hand. And after tonight, I'm just going to move forward in that, um, because I don't want to do anything that will put myself in jeopardy of anything, or my daughter, or even him. I just working on not feeling anxious. Just just need to calm down. Just need sigh. And if you're watching right now, thank you. This is not to tear him down or anything like that. This was just, oh boy, I just feel a lot, and I just I've been trying to run away from how I feel, and because I just want it to go away. It just feels so awful right now. It just feels so awful to be told by the man you love that he does not want you, and he can say what he wants, because he said, I'm not gonna make the same mistake like I did with the other woman. I'm not having sex with her. You're not driving an hour and a half away from home every weekend with an overnight bag, and you're not getting any. And even so, that still don't make it right. That still don't mean that you're not doing the same thing that you did before. That's real personal. That's a real personal thing to do. And I told him, you don't think that it'd be best for you to talk to married men, or men who can, or somebody that can, like, give you sound advice. That's something that we were supposed to do when we came back. We were supposed to get into marriage counseling. And that's something that I think would make a world of difference. And that's something that I should have stuck with and done, was the marriage counseling. But like I said, when I came back from Florida, I wasn't feeling good. There's a reason why we're here at this time, and and I think it's time that we bless each other and let go. Just keep me in your thoughts. If you pray, I appreciate it. I have strength, and I I have strength. All right, good night. I'm rambling. I'm gonna go to bed. I got work in the morning. Layla's got school. My apologies for not talking about GH, but that is the furthest thing from my mind right now. Furthest thing from my mind. My husband is always on my mind, and I want to get away from it. I want to get away from thoughts of him. Unfortunately, that'll never happen. I just want them to change. Just want them to change and find some opportunity, something else to focus on. And in order to, and he told me that, he said, you need to find something else. You need to find something other than me. And I'm gonna do that. Good night, everyone. Take care, and be blessed. Bye. Oh goodness, my